Thanks, Alondra. Okay, here we go. Yeah, so 4, 5, and 6, 3 levels we did today. And let's take a look here. Let me change colors. So, irregular area. So it's asking for the area of a shape like this. And this isn't a perfect rectangle, but I can see 2 separate rectangles in this shape. And I'm gonna look at this rectangle right here. Gonna like cut it like that. And look at this rectangle right here. And then this rectangle over here. So it almost looks like a square, but not quite. So we've got our 2 rectangles here. And I've got to figure out which 2 numbers I'm going to use to calculate the area. And on one side here, I have 3 and 4 and 10. So on this rectangle here, I have 3 numbers. But I can see that this side here is cut off. It doesn't go all the way to the edge, which is the measurement of this side of 10. But this side, that whole green section touches from point to point 3, and from point to point here, you've got 4. So I know I'm going to use 3 and 4 to measure this area. 3 times 4 is 12, so I know that this is 12. Now this side over here, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 numbers, and I've got to figure out which 2 I'm going to use. So once again, this side up here, it is on this side that says 10, but it doesn't go all the way to the end. So I'm not going to use 10. And then this side over here, 4 only stops halfway in between the 2. So it doesn't cover this whole side that we need. So we can't use this 4 over here. But that leaves me with these 2 numbers, 7. From this side, this point to this point, I've got 7. And from this point to this point, I've got 6. And 7 times 6 is 42. But I'm not done yet. I can't just put 1242. I now have to add these 2 together. So 12, plus 42. Wow, my pen isn't working and it's making this look bad. 2 plus 2 is 4. 1 plus 4 is 5. So the area of this shape is 54 square units. And you could just type 54 because it doesn't tell us like feet or inches or anything. So 54 is our answer there. So let's go to this one. I'm going to cut this shape to kind of look a little similar because I cut it here. I'm going to cut it this way. And I now have 2 rectangles, this long skinny one and this shorter skinny one. And I've got to figure out which numbers I'm going to use to find the area of both my green rectangles. So let's start on this nice tall skinny one. Ooh, the wind is blowing, sorry. So I see I have a 4, 3, 11, and 8. Once again, 8 is from here to here, so it's not this whole section here, or it's this whole section and not just this chunk that we're using. And same with 4, it's only this chunk right here. And so I see that this whole side is covered or touching the 3, and this whole side over here is touching the 11. So I'm going to use those 2 to find the area. 3 times 11 is 33. But you're not done yet. You got to do the same thing over here. 5, 7, and 8 are on this side, but once again, 8 is like cut in half here. We can't use 8, so I'm just going to cross it out anyway. And 5 is here, and 7 is here. 5 times 7 is 35. So add your 2 numbers together, 33 and 35. 3 plus 5 is 8. 3 plus 3 is 6. And your answer is 68. So that's how you do level 4. Level 5 looks like this. You've got a rectangle and you've got a chunk taken out of it. And you've got to figure out what the area of the whole blue chunk is, or a blue rectangle is, with that chunk taken out. So I'm going to find the area of the whole blue rectangle. And so I see 6 and 11 here. I know that these are the numbers I'm going to use because they're on my length and width side. So 6 times 11 is 66. That's not my answer though, because it's like I'm taking out this chunk of my rectangle. So I have to find the area of this rectangle, and they gave me my measurements here, 2 and 4. 2 times 4 is 8. So I'm going to now subtract it. I'm taking it away. It's like I cut out that piece. And 6 56 minus 8 is 58. So my area is 58 units squared. So that's with this whole blue section. So you had to find the area of the whole entire thing and then subtract the area of the black section. So apply that to like a door with a window. If you're going to paint, like you'll see in the word problems section, if you're going to paint this white part a whole different color, let's say you're going to paint it purple, you're not going to go and paint your window here. So you've got to figure out what the area is you're going to paint. And once again, to do that, you're going to use 10 and 3. So it's like 10 feet tall and 3 feet wide. And you're going to find the area of the whole entire door. So 10 times 3 is 30. But like I said, you're not painting the window here, so you've got to subtract the window. 4 times 2 is once again 8, so we're subtracting, and we get 22. So my paint is going to cover that 22 feet of my door. So that's how much paint I'll need. And so apply that to word problems here. So we're talking about rectangles and stuff. So draw a picture of what it's telling you. So Miss Davis used 146 inches of paper to make a border around her rectangular bulletin board. So right away, I see that I'm talking about a rectangle. If the bulletin board is 43 inches wide, how long is it? And this goes back to levels 3 and whatnot. So we're talking about the border. So think of like our bulletin boards in our classroom. They were talking about the outside here. So this whole entire outside area. Okay. So we're not looking at area here. We're looking at the outside. So that's going to be perimeter. So the perimeter is 146 inches long. And this is 43 inches wide. It doesn't really matter which side you do, but as long as you know that the opposite side is going to be the exact same. So 43 and 43, and we're trying to figure out how long it is. And guess what? This question mark and this question mark are the exact same number. So it doesn't really matter which one you don't put, kind of thing. Your answer is this is going to be the same as this. So finding perimeter, you're going to add, because what this is saying is 43 plus 43 plus something equals 146. So in order to figure out that something, I'm going to add my 43 and 43, and I get 86. So I'm going to take away 86 from 146 because that will get me closer. And I get 60 as my answer. So what that is saying is this side plus this side is equal to 60. These two sides put together is equal to 60. Not just one side is 60, that both of them put together is 60. Well, apply what we've learned throughout the year. Divide this by 2 because you're cutting it in half. Because you're cutting 60 in half to get one side because they're going to be the exact same number. And the only way for them to be the exact same number is if you divide by 2. So 60 divided by 2 is 30. So the length is 30 inches. Wow, that's a lot. But you guys passed this in other levels, so I know you can do it on this one. There's one more word problem that we'll practice, and then I'll let you guys go. So it says Mrs. Walton wants to paint a wall in her living room. The wall is 8 feet tall by 12 feet wide. There is a window on this wall that doesn't need to be painted. The window is 4 feet by 3 feet. What is the area, that should say area, of the wall she will be painting? So width and length, you're drawing a rectangle here. So let's say this is 8 and this is 12. And it tells you right here, area, even though it doesn't say it, but it's supposed to say area. There you go. What is the area of the wall she'll need? She'll be painting. So we have 12 times 8, which is, sorry, brain freeze, 96. And time out though, I have a window here. 3 times 4 is my window. And I've got to take away my window there. So Same kind of thing as in the other level. You have to find the area of that window and subtract it. So, 4 times 3 is 12, and now I'm going to subtract it from 96 and get 74. Is right? That's my answer. Yes. Okay. So the area I'm painting of my wall is 74. Any questions at all? Type it in the chat.